Hey everyone, I've got a cough drop in right now, so if I sound a little funny and like there's something in my mouth, it's because there is. Anyways, so as the title no doubtedly suggests, I thought it would be fun to do a Techo Kaigi video. I've seen a few of these going around because, August was Hobonichi month. I mean, not like officially, but like that's when they were releasing the lineup. And we are fully in planner season, I feel. I think there's this definitely air going around of everyone getting ready and preparing for 2026 and also kind of last minute trying to do like a mad rush into ending the year strong. I am all for that. And I don't know, I really like making this planner content because I really like my planners and I like talking about planners. And I thought the Techo Kaigi was a really cute concept. It literally means planner meeting. So it's like a meeting with yourself to discuss the planners and how you're using them and reflecting on your usage and potentially changing things moving forward. So I wanted to do that in honor of, it being planner season and to help pass the time while I wait for my 2026 Hobonichi order, which still has not shipped yet, even though I put the order like within the first hour that it went live, but whatever. I'm not the only one dealing with that. Let's get into it. My original 2025 plan, if we want to like show the planners, it was just this and the freebie notebook that came with it. So the original thought was I was going to downsize from an A5 Hobonichi cousin to the Techo original, the A6 Techo original. Mainly because I felt like, even though I definitely used the A5, I still felt like there was a lot of empty space. And I'd never planned in an A6 before, besides maybe Moleskin. And I wanted to give it a shot again to see, if I needed all that space. I also felt like the weekly hourly planning as well as the daily hourly planning was feeling a little redundant for me. It just felt like too much planner almost, even though initially I was attracted to it because it had every single possible layout you could want. But I just wanted to give it a go. The A6 is also cheaper, so I just wanted to see how I would like it, and I really love this cover, so yeah. And then, honestly, in hindsight, it was really great that this was the bonus because I've used this notebook a lot. This is obviously not the pen, but this is the pen right now because the actual Techo pen has run out of black ink. Let's go into how I was using it. So generally, I was doing all my planning in here, and this was supplemental. And I really liked that system. I still really like that system. I would index all my stuff, so I wouldn't put the page number, but I at least knew the order of it so I could kind of go looking for it. And this has been very helpful because the back pages, there's just not very many of them, and it just fits here. Like, it's a bit of a snug fit. It is kind of cracking this a little bit, but and I don't love that, it's hiding the cute little image here, but I just felt like this was a good enough compromise. While I had it, it fit in there. It was so convenient. So initially, how I was using this, generally I like to use, or at least try to use, the planners as intended, as designed. I'm like one of those, like, I have a Lego set, I'm gonna build it exactly. I like following instructions. So at least I wanted to try using it as it was designed to, I don't know, max out the planner before, messing around with things. So originally, I was doing some time blocking, all one color, and then I would have my to-do list, and I would also put, the to-dos within as well. The time blocking, often, it was like one color, and here I was at my residency, so I wasn't using it all the time. But maybe here's some good examples. So I ended up just time blocking my actual, like, meetings, or just, like, my work time. I was unemployed during this time, but doing some freelance work, so I would block out when I was doing it and then what to do in between, and then using the top part for my to-dos. What I ended up doing was going back and giving myself stickers every time I completed a to-do, because that was a system I used to do quite frequently with but in a smaller notebook. So I would give myself stickers in a specific notebook for accomplishing tasks throughout the week. So that was a way for me to have an unstructured weekly to-do list that wasn't tied to a day, that I could give myself stickers, because stickers are very important to me, because this is how I reward myself. All I did was half marathon, but I think that still deserved a sticker. So I backfilled all of this. You'll see, I wasn't originally using the stickers, but I went in and awarded them to myself. And I just feel like it's a good visual look at oh, you got a lot done today. Look how many stickers you got. And it's a nice layout thing to the planner, because I'm not really a decorating my layout sort of person, but if I'm giving myself stickers that I have to put in anyways, then it's a little bit of that. So that is generally how I was using this for a very long time. These little cat stickers are so cute. And then things started to change. I got a retail job, and then I quit the retail job. And then I had a lot of unstructured time. And then my very coincidentally, just really excellent timing. So this was back when I had a lot of unstructured time. So I had a little bit of freelance work, and then I was building out, the rest of my schedule, and I was alternating my colors at this point. And again, trying to make full use. In general, I was using this section for notes. But then I started, my freelance work started really, really, really picking up. So then the time blocking became more important, and I was realizing that I maybe needed more space. So it was actually around August, maybe July, maybe it was July-ish, where I realized that I kind of needed more space in my planner. So initially, let's put the privacy lobster up. Initially, I was going to try the undated Passion Planner, because I used Passion Planner pretty regularly for about 3 years, and this is undated. I had purchased it because I just thought the cover was cute and it was probably on sale. And so my thought was I would use this because it's undated and it's weekly, and I can kind of write out everything. But I think, you can see here, July, this was when I was going to use it. I think I just didn't want to do the time blocking again, because you see I'm time blocking already in the dailies. I just didn't want to remake my Google Calendar in here, because I have my Google Calendar up all the time. I even have my mock schedule as one of my backgrounds on my second monitor. And I just I got as far as this, and then I just didn't use it. So I think, I'm sure I'll find a use for this eventually. If not, maybe I'll gift it to someone. But I think mentally I'm a little past this. At least for this year, this wasn't the solution. That was around July. That was when I realized that I needed a weekly solution for something. And that's when I started thinking about the weeks. Now, in August, this is when I was going bonkers over the Hobonichi stuff. And I was also, again, adjusting my planning by using more color coding, kind of giving myself a color per thing so I could look at what I needed to do that day. Also started journaling a little more in the pages, in the daily pages as well, because I'm trawling in the, Hobonichi subreddit and getting really inspired by the way people are using their dailies and the memory keeping aspect of it. And I guess the idea of the Hobonichi as a life book, So I tried to embody that a little more with just more journaling. And I would say the journaling is very free write. This journal is my actual dump mind journal, and you can see it is almost done. And after that is done, I'm going to move to this journal. Probably I actually bought them at the same time. Oh my god, 5 or 6 years ago. I started this journal in 2020, and it's 2025. It's almost done, so I'm going to pick it back up with this one. So if we go to like how I'm using it now, you can see there's a lot of journaling. I'm still using my to-dos. I'm still color blocking, time blocking. And generally what I do, I have a color per kind of client. So blue is one client, green is another one, and then the pink is like my personal time. Ideally like my personal projects. And then I'm using yellow as like an actual appointment thing, right? So that's how I've been color coding it, and I honestly like this a lot. I'm used to associating pink with creative time. The yellow I think is just good. If I don't have the yellow, then it's just like a blank thing, you know. So this was good. And this is how I'm using the setup right now. Okay, random jump cut. Please do not be alarmed. I'm just filming all this on my phone. So I have to offload things onto the Google Drive because my phone be old. It's around August where I'm realizing that I need more space. What I've been doing is tracking, you know, how much time I'm spending working on XYZ, since I have to invoice my clients afterwards. But things get really cluttered, which I know I wanted the journal to feel very lived in, but it also would just be nice to, one, have a space to separately list out the work to-dos and like deadlines and stuff, because there's one, I do some design work and the things that I design have to go out at like a certain time. So it would be helpful to like know when that is without necessarily cluttering up like the beginning calendar. And I don't reference this stuff all that much. It's kind of more at the beginning of the month I fill it in, but I don't really reference the monthly calendar too much. And without cluttering up my Google Calendar either, which is already pretty cluttered. So there was that, and there was also, it would just be nice to have like a running to-do list of things to do every week that I could have. So for a while, the solution was this Pikmin notepad that I got from the Nintendo store. And I would just take it out and write out what I needed to do, and that was nice and easy because I could just like slot it here. And keep track of it that way. Sometimes I also used this. This actually is like a Post-it. So one week I just like popped it on like the Sunday because I don't use it as much over the weekend, and then wrote out what I needed to do. But it still, I don't know, felt like I guess I could keep doing it, but I think I was just looking for an excuse to try the weeks. I had already decided I would be using the weeks in 2026, spoiler. But I went to Amaido kind of 2 days before the Hobonichi launch, because that was the only time I could go. And they actually had 2025 weeks. I had actually been looking online for 2025 weeks to purchase, hoping I could find something that would cut a deal, and I just could not find anything that was like reasonably priced. So when I saw this at the Maido, I would not call it reasonably priced, but it was certainly there, and it was a spring start. And it's the same illustrator that I've been purchasing since I started on this Hobonichi journey in 2024. And I justified it to myself as, well, I can still get 7 months out of it. And once 2026 rolls around, like in 2025, I'll have 4 months, but when 2026 rolls around, I can use it for marathon planning. That was a thought. I wanted to try. I already had a feeling that I would like the weeks and that it would work well because I already knew it would fill the need that I had, which was unstructured weekly planning, but still be able to put in my weekly deadlines, right? And that's exactly what this does. So generally, if we use a blank one, I like write out my meetings. And then here I write out the to-dos. So here I'm trying to color code it. So the blue I'm using as like, these are like my actual meetings. And then the black are like life appointments that I really cannot miss. And then I've been writing out my running schedule, my training schedule on the side here, as well as what I plan to do over the weekend. And then I have like my work to-dos for this week. And then I have, like, if I have another gig, I write out the stuff I gotta do for that. And then I have my personal and then my to-dos. And color coding it has been really nice. I know some people go, like, really creative and crazy with, like, their layout here. That's not for me. I just need, like, an open note that is communicating in conversation with like the week at a glance. So I can see the week at a glance. I can document how many hours I've done for that week. I can see like my due dates. And I can keep track of like my to-dos and what I need to do. And also, this notes section back here, I have definitely been using it. This is really helpful for work notes to just reference. We generally work primarily in Notion, but sometimes it's just easier to, you know, write it down and then translate it into Notion, at least for me. So I've been really enjoying it. And then, of course, these are other like due dates and stuff. So this is a good just calendar for due dates, which I think is helpful. And I've also been doing some memory keeping. But it's more like when I get a flash of a memory, then I write it down. I've been using this for 3 weeks. I love it. It's been extremely helpful, extremely intuitive. I've had zero problem. It works great in tandem with this because I can kind of have my week at a glance. And then on the actual day, I can just focus on like the day, on like, what do I need to do today, right? So I can kind of migrate these things over here as I need, as I see fit. So that has been really helpful, and honestly how I've been using it and how I've been using this, I've still, honestly, I think the A6 is a perfect size for me. It's so portable. I can put it in my bag. This is even more portable. It feels, even if I don't get every single day, it feels like I've really gotten a lot of use out of this. You know, it just feels way more like lived in than my A5 cousin. So really liked it. I thought the move was fine. And the back pages I use exactly, you know, how I intended. And once I do like a flip through, we'll get to see all that. But that was basically my 2025 kind of my intention, which was just this, and then some kind of problem solving, and then finally incorporating this, being like, what are you doing, Kareen? You know you want to get the weeks. Just get the weeks. Generally, I try to sit down and plan out my week in advance on like Sunday or Monday. So you see, I have to do this time block stuff like a week in advance. I don't do beyond a week. And you can see I'm not really doing the weekend unless I have like an appointment. I don't do beyond the week. I think that's too presumptuous. So much can change, but I at least do my week because I realized if I didn't do the week, then I was less likely to use the journal. So setting myself up for success, putting it in here so I use this. And also if I'm not using this, then things feel more unstructured and I don't know what to do, which the weeks is a good kind of backup plan for that because there's a little, the setup is literally just, you know, this, but setting aside like my Sunday evening to get a look at my week and keep it in mind has been very helpful, and it allows me to focus on the day and also have a glance at what I wanted to do that week in case I'm like, what should I work on? Then I can look in here. So that's my mid-year Techo Kaigi. Well, not really mid-year, it's more like my fall, September planner season Techo Kaigi. Let me know what your planner review is like. How has your planning system changed from the beginning of the year versus now? Are you still changing it? Do you still have changes in mind? I'd like to hear. Again, I love the planner stuff. So really enjoyed the comments on the last one. So let me know kind of what's changed and what you plan on changing for your planner setup moving forward. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.